So you can't out-supplement a stressed nervous system. In today's episode, I want to dive into why mindset is not going to work alone, and it's not enough, and how getting out of that fight or flight mode is essential if you actually want your body to heal. So stay tuned. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. Hey friends, and welcome back to Gut Fix. I'm Wendy Handy, and today I want to talk about something that I believe and I see over and over and over again in my practice that is absolutely essential for healing, and it's still very wildly overlooked by so many. And that is, you can't heal if you're constantly in fight or flight. You can be eating the absolute cleanest diet, you can take the right supplements, you can work with the best practitioners on the planet. But if your nervous system is stuck in survival mode and your body is not in a state where healing can actually happen, so you want to be out of the sympathetic and you want to be in the parasympathetic, because that's where the true healing is going to come in. And so today I want to talk about, mindset, yes, but also something that's just as important, maybe even more important, is your nervous system and how you can get out of that constant stress response so that your body can finally do what it is designed and innately knows already what to do, and that is repair, restore, and heal. So if you've ever felt like you're just doing all the right things, and you're still not seeing that progress, then I want you to know this episode's for you. And we hear a lot about mindset in everything, in the health space, but also in business, in just about everything. Just think more positively, do affirmations. Your thoughts create your reality. You have to believe that you can heal. And yes, that is a big part of it. If you don't believe that you can heal or you can get better, well, then the answer is unanimous. You won't. And I want to say this very clearly, though. A positive mindset alone is not going to ever override a dysregulated nervous system. You can genuinely want to heal. You can truly have hope and belief. You can be the biggest optimist. But if your body is constantly perceiving danger, whether that danger is emotional stress or chronic illness, some sort of past trauma, maybe it's overworking, you're a caregiver like myself, or just never slowing down, your physiology is still stuck in that fight or flight mode. And when you're in that mode, your body prioritizes survival and not healing. So what happens when that happens is that your digestion slows way down and it becomes really impaired, and you get all of the digestive symptoms coming up. Your immune function shifts, and it's not as running on all four cylinders. So you could be getting sick much more easily. Your hormones can become imbalanced. Inflammation goes up. And this is why so many people say that I know what to do, but my body isn't responding. And actually, I know what to do and I'm doing it, but my body isn't responding. And so it's really not a willpower thing, right? It's not failure. It's just biology. And so, what fight or flight actually looks like, because it's not really always obvious. We tend to think of it as, maybe panic or anxiety or, all of the things, fear. But chronic fight or flight often shows up not quite as loudly as that. It shows up more quietly. So it can show up as, just that constant fatigue, even though you slept really well. You're wired at night. You can't go to sleep, but you're exhausted. Your digestive issues, they just don't go away. And you just continue to have, well, no matter what you're eating, you still have the bloating and the gas and all of the things. You feel yourself getting very overwhelmed very easily. You have trouble relaxing, even if you're on a day off or you're on vacation even. And sometimes, and this shows up very much for myself, and that is shallow breathing. Sometimes I catch myself and I am just shallow breathing, and I have to really be conscious of taking a few deep breaths. Muscle tension that you may not even notice anymore. So it could be tension in your neck. That's where a lot of us hold it, myself included. But it could just be tension. Some people hold it in their jaw, right? It could be, being productive, but just being totally exhausted. And here's something that I see a lot. It's a big one. I see it, all the time in my practice, is that people who tend to look calm on the outside, but they feel constantly on the inside, right? So they look calm, but inside they're just going 100 miles an hour. A lot of times it's your type A personalities. So your nervous system, it doesn't really care how capable you are. If it perceives threat, whether it's real or perceived, it keeps the stress response going constantly. And chronic stress doesn't have to come from one big traumatic event. It can often come from just absolute years of pushing through things, ignoring all the signals that your body's giving you, and just powering through everything. Any of that sound familiar? Because that was me. And that's a part of your nervous system. It requires a parasympathetic state. And that is, where you do that resting and digesting, we call it. That's the state. It's your rest and digest state. And this is where your healing truly happens. So, things like your digestion is going to start to improve. Your inflammation is going to start to calm down. You're going to put out some of those flames. You're going to, your hormones are going to start to regulate. Your immune system repair starts happening, and tissue repair as well. And all of these things are done in that parasympathetic state. But here's the catch. You can't get into parasympathetic state if your body still feels unsafe. And, unsafe doesn't mean like there's danger, right? It does in the traditional sense of danger, but it could be, just pressure that you're putting on yourself, perceived or real. It could be, just unresolved stress that you have going on. And it can mean never giving your body a chance to slow down. So never unwinding, never unplugging, right? And truly winding down. This is why nervous system work, it isn't optional if you're trying to heal. It's foundational and it's essential. And mindset, it does help create awareness, but the nervous system work creates the physiological change. And you honestly, you need both. I'm not going to say that you don't need mindset, because you do. And there are some simple ways that you can start to regulate your nervous system. That's the good news. It doesn't require, hours of meditation or, just completely changing your entire life overnight. Not necessary. You can do very small, consistent signals of safety to your body that are going to go a really long way. And they can be done, if it's done consistently, literally 5 minutes a day, you can help to regulate your nervous system and slow it down. So just a few simple things that you can start with. And we've mentioned these, several times before, but very slow, intentional breathing. So you want to take very long exhales, because that tells your nervous system that everything's safe. So, just try this. Try inhaling through your nose for 4 seconds, exhaling very slowly for 6 seconds, and do this maybe 3 to 5 times. That's it. That will truly help you to start, shifting your whole nervous system. Another thing that you can do is gentle movement. And I'm not talking about, HIIT training or, going on a long run or anything. No intense workouts, especially if you're already depleted. But I want you to think about more things like just going for a walk. It can be a 10-minute walk after a meal. It can just be stretching when you get up in the morning. A little bit of light yoga. These are movements that are really gonna help you feel more supportive rather than, punishing, right? So it's going to support your nervous system, not punish it. And then third thing you want to do is create some pauses throughout the day. So healing, it doesn't happen when you are just constantly rushing one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. So even if you take a 60-second pause between different tasks, if you're like me, I really have to time block in order to get everything done in a day. And so if you just take 60 seconds in between each one of your tasks that you've time blocked, that's going to make a big difference. And you can just simply put your feet on the floor, take a deep breath, and let your body catch up with your mind. Just relax and breathe and stop thinking about what you have to do next, right? Then the fourth thing that you can do is change your inner and internal dialogue. And this is where the mindset comes back in. So, instead of saying things, because we do this, I'm certainly very guilty of this, is saying things like, my gosh, I should be further along. I should have more. I should be better by now. Try saying things like, my body's responding to safety and consistency. I'm right exactly where I need to be. And this subtle shift is going to reduce that internal pressure, because pressure is stress, right? And we want to eliminate that at all costs. And so why does this all matter for gut health? Also inflammation and chronic illness. So, if you are somebody who's dealing with gut issues, inflammation, autoimmune conditions, fatigue, or chronic stress, this work, I'm telling you, is really non-negotiable if you truly want to heal, because your gut has a direct connection to your nervous system, and your immune system listens to stress signals, and your hormones respond to perceived threat. So, while you can't micromanage healing with supplements alone, we can't supplement our way to health, right? When we totally calm down the nervous system, then the body becomes receptive to all the things that you're doing, all of the good eating that you're doing, all of the gentle movement that you're doing, all of the supplements that you're taking. Your body's going to be much more receptive to it. And that's when protocols work better. That's when your food is more tolerated. That's when progress starts to feel sustainable, right? It's absolutely crucial, and I see it time and time again in practice, that people that are constantly in fight or flight are not moving the needle in their health, even though they're doing all the right things. So, just to kind of wrap up, if there's one thing that I want you to take away from today, it's this: that healing is not about doing more. It's about creating safety or perceived safety for your body, physically and emotionally. And mindset opens the door for that. The nervous system lets the body walk through it. And so, if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just unsure of where to start, then this is exactly the kind of work I support my clients with. Looking at the whole body picture, not just symptoms. So if you want to book a free discovery call with me, then we can walk through, we can talk through what might be keeping your body in that survival mode and how to gently shift that. I have several different options. You can do a free discovery call, or you can jump right into what I call a mini breakthrough session, which I'll dive into your health and medical history, your lifestyle, and all of that, and come up with a protocol in an hour session. And that way we can get your body in that survival mode, and how we can keep it from being in the survival mode, and we can gently start to shift and get you into a parasympathetic state where you can truly, truly heal. And you can book a discovery call in the show notes below. You can go to my website, wendyhandy.com, and book that free discovery call. Or also in the show notes is a link to my mini breakthrough session. So as always, I want to thank you for listening and, hopefully taking some steps, whether they're big or small, towards your healing. And I won't talk to you until after the holidays. So for everybody out there that celebrates Christmas, Merry Christmas. And I'll talk to you all next week. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.